ABEMUNAH with words from Thor. Listen, I want to start this off with a verse from a song I wrote back in the days, you know what I'm saying, when I first jumped off in Christianity and everything like that. So let me hit you with this. What in the world is the church? It make me sick. Misrepresent Christ with homos, lesbies, jezzies, and false prophets. Lord help me. I'm finna scream. What you gonna do? I'ma teach them not to blaspheme. For the Bible say they got a form of godliness. Denying the power, trying to get blessed in their filthiness. You know I'm right. Real Christians suffer in the flesh to get filled. Others want material things and cheap drills. People say, little brother, you way out of line. Tell it to God, cause ain't no yellow running down my spine. Want me to lie? Can't do it cause I hold the truth. Inside my mind, the real truth is not so hard to find. Open your eyes, the devil crept up in the pulpit with his lies, schemes, and trickery. He want the people bound. These preachers make they rounds, stealing the people money because they low down. No more clown, robbing spree. That ain't the way to be. Friend of the world, I count you as an enemy. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, the pride of life. That's what these preachers filing. They better get it right. I know the word is hard. Just take the cut and bleed. It's not up to me, but I'm a teacher not to blaspheme. Definitely, I'm a teacher not to blaspheme. First of all, let's jump on this tithes and offerings demon. You know, it's like the preachers collect all the money from the people, have old folks tithing off of their fixed income. What a ridiculous shame. When the elders and the people supposed to be helping the elderly. Especially if women are widows for real, that after their husband died, they continue on living single. You're supposed to be taking care of them. They're not supposed to be taking care of you. Let's jump off into this Deuteronomy chapter 14. And it reads verse 22. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. Listen to that. What the field bring forth, not your money. Look at this. And it said, and thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of what? Thy corn. First of all, what does tithe mean in Hebrew? It just means a tenth. So this what they telling you need to tithe. Your corn, your wine, your oil, the firstling of thy herds, thy flocks, and thou mayst learn to fear the Lord thy God always. Y'all don't have that. Y'all don't even have land. Y'all living in apartments and stuff like that. So y'all don't have it. But if y'all did have it and y'all was paying y'all tithes every third year, you know, and bring 10% of your apples, your oranges, and all of those type of flocks and lambs and bullocks, guess what? They're going to run you out of there. They're going to say, what the hell you doing? Man, we don't accept that. They got credit card machines, ATM machines in the churches now. It's a ridiculous shame. Watch this. It said, and if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God should choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God had blessed thee, then thou shalt turn it into money. And listen what you're supposed to do with the money when you tithe it. He said, bind the money in thy hand, and thou shalt go to the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusted after, the oxen or the sheep or the wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desired, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. And guess who? The Levite, what is within thy gates, shalt thou not forsake him, for he had no part of inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years shalt bring forth all the tithe and thine increase the same year, and shall lay it up within thy gates. And the Levite, because he had no part of inheritance with thee, and the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, and the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the works of thy hand. You see that? Every 3 years. But yet they tell y'all to tithe every Sunday. Man, they don't even give you a chance to get prosperous, man, and they taking money from you. Even in the book of Corinthians, it tell you that, you know, every first day of the week that to collect the money, but don't let the people be around when you collecting the money if y'all won't take it there. That don't muzzle the ox that traded out the corn. But what are you doing for the people? Just taking from the people? And if they come to y'all, y'all mean mugging them. If they come and say, look, my car note behind, my bill's behind. You know, the scriptures say, give and it shall be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, men shall give into your bosom. But they make you see the secretary. They make you see all of these non-important people. But when they say time to collect, they want you to be head first and throw all your money in the collection plate. But when it comes to you, it's not that important. But yet they say they're giving the money to God. Well, I don't see no in God we trust bank nowhere in America. So who is the preacher tying to? And yet, and the preacher telling y'all, oh, the law been done away with. Now that's a conflict of interest. If the law been done away with and we under grace, then why he's gone in the law to tell you to pay your tithes? See, 2 Corinthians chapter 9 say that God loveth a cheerful giver. Don't give grudgingly or out of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. If you give bountifully, you're going to reap bountifully. If you give sparingly, you're going to reap sparingly. There's nowhere in the Brit Hadashah New Testament they telling you about paying tithes. But yet they'll tell you, oh, we could eat pork. We could eat whatever we want. We could do whatever we want. That's the Addams family. You say what you want. You do what you want. You act how you want. Nah, man, that ain't God. But when it comes to them getting paid, they go wear you out and take you in Malachi and tell you, will a man rob God? Yeah, y'all robbing God people. The scripture said in the book of 2 Corinthians that the father's supposed to live for the children, not the children for the fathers. Even Shaul said he robbed other people to do the people service. But in the scripture it said churches. But if you substitute people for churches, because that is the original word in the Dead Sea Scrolls, is people, because people makes up a congregation. All right. So listen, man, stop giving these preachers all of this money and your bills are going undone. Your family, your children going undone. Because first of all, America whooping you. How can you give God a first if Uncle Sam getting it first? And tell me this, when the mark of the beast come on the scene, how you going to be able to pay your tithes? When the scripture say you would need to buy nor sell, save you have the mark of the beast. You know, and the scripture say if you get it, there's no salvation for you. So tell me how you going to be able to pay your tithes then. See, it's a conflict of interest. So I believe in this. If you with somebody and you want to support the ministry, you want to support what they're doing because they helping the people, by all means give. The scripture says it. Do God just care for oxen? Don't muzzle the ox that traded out the corn. But man, don't sit up there and try to put a gun in people's head and say, pay your tithes because God says so. And then turn around with the same mouth and tell them, you know, we're not under the law. That's a hypocrite. And that's a damn fool that I would not follow. So people, I'm telling you, you don't have to pay tithes and offering. Listen, the scriptures say this. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination in the sight of God. How much more he that giveth it with a wicked mind? So a lot of people not living right in the church anyway, but yet they're giving money. The preachers take money from the prostitute. They take money from the pimp. They take money from anybody and say, God go bless the people. The scriptures teach in the book of Joshua that if you keep his commandments, if you diligently hearken to his commandments, he go bless you. He even said in Yeshayahu chapter 1, he said, if you be willing and obedient, you should eat the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, he's going to devour you with the sword. So it's up to you, people, what you choose to do. But I would suggest that you live upright and walk righteous, live righteously and walk upright and be faithful to the Father. And he's going to bring people across your path that you can help out with money. And if you want to support your leader, that's fine too. But don't let them make you feel bad about not paying tithes and offerings. Take them to the scripture. Take them to Deuteronomy chapter 14. Take them to Deuteronomy chapter 26, I believe. Take them and ask them to explain that to you. Why they say every 3 years? Because the trees, the apple trees, it took 3 years for the apples to produce. And different fruit, it take that long for fruit to produce and crops to grow properly, you know. But yet they tell you about all this money They robbing the people, they draining the people, and the people getting drained. They got to pay car insurance, they got to pay house insurance, they got to pay renters insurance, got to pay all type of taxes, and yet the preachers won't have no mercy on the people. The scriptures teach that if you give to the rich, you should surely come to want. And I see a lot of people coming to want. After they pay their bills, they still got to find a way to pay 10%. But when will the church start collecting for the people and breaking the people off so the people could be blessed instead of just the first family, so-called? That's ABEMUNAH with lessons from Thor. Tithes and offerings is a joke, man. Peace.